Hey, everybody. So welcome to another episode of the Layman Terms podcast. I have an amazing guest, Olivia C. Ramos.
Hi.
I have to say it like that.
Hi.
Welcome to
Thomas.
the show.
Hello, Thomas. Thank you very much for the invite. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, because we've known each other for several years. Uh, we've reconnected again last year, which is great. And, one of the things this podcast really likes to show, we're real estate focused for the most part, but we do go off track. But, I think one of the overlooked parts of real estate is title.
Correct.
Okay. Because I think a lot of real estate professionals don't understand it, don't understand all the nuances to it. And then there comes the dumb questions, right?
Correct. Yes.
So give us a little background about you.
I've been in this business since 1999.
Okay.
As a real estate paralegal back home from New York. I was based in New York, then moved to Orlando in 2016.
Okay.
Worked with the county with doing foreclosures, mediation.
Okay.
Then went to get my degree in legal studies at UCF.
Okay.
Now then working for title companies until basically I decided to go and open my own last year.
Big
So
jump.
it was a big jump. I was scared. I was scared because I didn't know, like again, scared first time, and I was used to a paycheck, a steady paycheck.
Forget about that anymore.
But now it's different. Now it's like more, yeah. So
Yep.
which I love. I love what I do. I love my job. I love, everything about title. I love real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that comes into it, I love it and I enjoy it.
One of my core beliefs is that if you love what you do, it's no longer work. And being able to do what we love, therefore, it gives us a superpower we shouldn't use often, which is those 80-hour weeks. You and I have had this talk already.
We have.
For a little backstory, Olivia and I went to dinner last month because we're working on some growing together with some things, and she told me how she didn't have movie night with your son anymore.
Yeah.
So now it's in calendar for every Tuesday night.
Yes.
So I just had a speaking event a few weeks ago. It was a Tuesday night. I didn't invite Olivia.
No, and I saw the invite. I'm like, I didn't get that invite.
Well, Jeannie sent it, right? And I said, no, take it back. No, cancel that. She's like, why? I'm like, because it's movie night for her son. And she's like, oh, because, so just like everything I've learned, I'm going to share with you as we grow together. Jeannie understands that, right? We're so passionate about what we do, so we can blur the work-life balance. Not good. My number one job is not entrepreneur, it's dad. So you're a single mom. Your son's 20, right?
He's 20, yeah.
There's not too much time in the nest every day with him, and you'll never get it back. So remember one of the things, you're like, well, how do I do this? I'm like, calendar, weekly, it's not allowed to be canceled unless it's a true emergency.
Yes, and I mentioned it to him about that dinner and then what you said, and then he's like, Mom, today's movie night. Can I see your calendar? I say, yeah, yes. Oh, yes, it is there now.
Well, what you got to do is, if you guys use Google Calendar, just send it to him and make it repeating. Yeah. Okay, that way it's in there all the time. Yeah. That is such important. My son has events. He puts it in my calendar.
Nice.
Okay, he's 16 and a half. My daughter does it now. Well, she tells someone, she'll get on a text with Jeannie and put it in calendar. Oh. Okay. I don't know if I told you, like last year, she did she had a play for school. And my daughter was so afraid of speaking in the play. She's always like, oh, I can never do that. No. So it was a Tuesday night, and she came into the office. I'm at my desk. I'm getting ready to wrap up. And she's like, Dad, I'm sorry. My play tomorrow isn't in calendar, and I know you're really busy because my schedule's full. Mm-hmm. I'm already emailing Jeannie to cancel everything because I don't miss those events. And I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't tell her I was canceling everything. I'm like, oh, baby. She's like, yeah, but I'll make sure it's in calendar next time. You can see she would, I'm like, do I tell her now or surprise her? I chose to surprise her. And so the next day, I show up, and it's auditorium. So you have 2 levels to it, then a space where you walk and everything. So it was really packed. So I'm in the middle filming. My daughter has the only speaking part in the play. She's the narrator for the whole thing.
Wow.
So now I'm almost ready to cry, and I'm videoing the whole thing because my daughter said she could never do this. And I grew up with, it's funny, a horrible stutter into my 20s. I couldn't speak in groups. Kind of do a little better today, right? But I'm from New York, so English isn't good anyway. So we'll just say that. But here she is speaking on stage. And I coach people, and I always say, I'm going to teach you to fly. My daughter flies now. And so then they sit down. She didn't see me. Then when they brought her up for, with the play people to the end, I walked right up front. She dropped the microphone and jumped off the stage into my arms. Luckily, the school knows us, and they're like, "Hey, we don't like them jumping off stages." I'm like, I know, but it was just such an amazing moment because at 8, she's learning to conquer fears. I always ask her when we go out. I ask my wife, "We'll go to a restaurant. There's no music playing. Let's get up and dance." She's like, "No way!" I'm like, "What do you mean, no way? Who cares?"
That's romantic,
right? Yeah. And so that same weekend, they wanted to go. This was before the holidays. They wanted to go, of all places, the outlets here shopping. I was like, "Oh, can't you just order on Amazon? It's so much better." Nope.
No.
So we went, and they were playing music though. You know what? You know where the fountains are?
Yes.
My daughter steps up on the fountain and says, "Dada, let's dance," in front of everybody. Packed Saturday.
Oh my God.
And my wife came out and saw this. She was in one of the shops, and she says, "My wife said this. Ella can fly now, can't she?" I said, "Yeah. Yeah." Because I teach that to my children, that, you have to face your fears.
Yes.
More than not, they're irrational. It's just we've been taught to be afraid of everything. Like our parents said, "Be careful." Hey, I'm going to the bathroom. What do you mean, be careful? It's down the hall, whatever. But when it just puts fear into our head, like everything. Now, I didn't get that as a child because I grew up in Manhattan in the 70s and 80s, and, we just ran the streets, and not good either, but I didn't have fear. But the children today are so different, especially, and we have to teach them that they're so capable of more.
Yes.
That's
true. Yes.
right?
But that's the fear that I had when my job title was gonna be open. I mean, again, I had the thought of opening a title company, but I was scared until, yeah, my last job that I had, and I was stabbed in the back, and I was upset, crying, and my boyfriend, he's like, "I told you so," like yelling at me, like, "I told you, Lord, do your own, do your own." I'm like, "No, no, no." What?
But why
Yeah,
not?
he pushed me. He
Okay,
pushed me to
good.
do it. He
Good.
pushed me to do it. Went to take the test. I failed the first time. I didn't pass it. And I'm like, no, I cannot do it. He's like, go ahead and do it again. Don't give up. And I did.
Failure is only final when you quit.
Yeah. And that's what he said.
And
You're not a quitter.
keep in mind that Edison made the light bulb. So his first company was called 1001 Productions, I believe the name of it was. So 1001 for sure. You want to know why? He failed 1,000 times at creating the light bulb.
Oh my God. Wow.
He didn't give up though. And a friend of mine, and she just took the broker's test. Now we're broker partners, okay? She failed several times. So she knew somebody who took it 18 times though, over how many long period. And I said, well, you got a lot more chances left in you. And then but she put so much pressure on herself. I'm like, dude, what are you worried about? Like, stop putting pressure on yourself. You know all the stuff, but we put like this big weight, like we have to be perfect. I have a rule on my team: there's no perfect people allowed, and I always say, when you walk on water, I will hold you to that standard. And that gave people, Jeannie, for instance, that gave her the ability, the permission not to be perfect. Because we all have that unrealistic expectations of ourselves. I'm going to fail today at something for sure. I'm married. My wife's going to tell me anyway I failed at something. Fantastic. Okay, tomorrow, my only goal is to be better than today. And once I learned to forgive myself, everything else became easier, because I was one of those people who I would beat myself up over things. For instance, I remember when I was a sophomore in college, I had to do the speaking thing because I was in football team, and I stuttered my way through the first 5 minutes. And I was still giving myself hell over that 30 years later.
Wow.
30 years later. Until somebody said, "Why the hell are you worried about that crap? They don't remember anything."
But
But we do. right? So now I laugh about it, okay? Because I gave myself the ability to say, forget about it, okay? Or somebody helped me give myself the ability because I didn't have it before that. And then, as I said, you start unpacking these things. Like we all have a closet in our brain full of junk.
Yeah.
And we have to learn to empty that closet because that's like a weight just hitting us.
Yeah, it is true.
That's part of, when I coach people, the first thing we start with isn't real estate. I can teach you that. Yeah, that's fine. But if I can't teach you the mindset to succeed, none of this matters. Okay. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to. So we got a lot of talks to have, you and me.
Yes, me too, definitely. And actually, I'm also learning from you because I mean, I come to you with sometimes I bend, and you tell me things.
We just had a
yeah,
session in there, right?
exactly. Yeah, you basically said, Why don't you try this and that?" You know what?
But then you started giving me like, oh, but this and this and this, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Everything in writing. This is why you do it.
Yeah.
And I believe in putting guardrails into our lives. And that just doesn't mean our personal, it means our business life too. So this is Tom's business life. If I can do business with you, we have to fit in the guardrails. If we don't do business because that's part of being in alignment together. And in my personal life, I have guardrails. I didn't have an open relationship with my parents where I could talk. Wasn't there. There was hands from my father and bad words. And my mom, my dad was dying and there were issues. My mom worked 3 jobs to support us. Okay. We were poor. So I didn't have someone to talk to. I learned everything on the street. Not good. Because there was no TikTok or Facebook, right? So you learned it out there. Oh, I'm sure that was the right way. Like my father didn't even teach me to shave.
Oh wow.
Okay, fine. When I raise my son, if I don't know the answer, I think to what my father did and did the opposite. Okay. But I've forgiven him. He had his demons and it took a while to get that done. But my son and I have this really amazing relationship where we talk. And to this date, I will believe 100% he's never lied to me because my deal with them is the time I catch you, our relationship changed because I can't trust you. And then I would be ready for this good word, disappointed. Not mad, not angry, not pissed, disappointed. And that helps us because he's going to make mistakes. They're kids. I need them to come to me for help. Then we fix it. Doesn't mean I'm going to let it slide. Absolutely not. But we fix and then we make it right together.
Move on. Yeah.
Okay. But that's my way of my wife doesn't agree with that way. She's like, just tell him no. He's 17 almost and he's really smart. That's not a good answer. Because like he's working out and all his friends are 17. They're in the gym now. They're working out. I love that part. But now there's this pressure to use sports enhancement stuff. I've used them in high school. I competed in bodybuilding. I played Division I football. It was rampant back then. It wasn't illegal either yet. Different story.
Okay.
He asked me questions about steroids and peptides. So I gave him the truth of them. And my wife was like, why are you telling him all this? I said, he said he was learning about it on TikTok and Instagram. That's where I want him to get information from. But I said, do you realize he came and asked questions? Now, first of all, it's illegal. He can't do it in my house ever. That's my rule.
Okay.
And he would respect that anyway. But then once I told him how it stunt his growth, he will never achieve his best results if he cheats the system like that. And he's definitely scared of needles. So that helps too.
Okay.
But he said, hey, thanks, Pop. I appreciate it. Came over. We were at this restaurant on the lake. He's bigger than me size-wise. Gave me a huge hug and we fell on the damn sand together. But you got to remember now, I'm his stepfather, but I'm his dad. I'm his pop, he calls me. That relationship is not normal. That's different because people don't speak with their children. Okay? Do it with my 8-year-old. My 8-year-old, I had this Florida room built out for me finally. Took months. Hot tub, sauna, cold plunge. My daughter, Wednesday night, and her friends kicked me out of my own hot tub. I'm like, oh, come on. It's like the third time I've used it. I was like, all right, I'll get out. Okay. So then I said, my wife was, we're not going to let him go in alone. My wife was there. I said, hey, make sure you put the cover back on. Don't touch any buttons. 9 o'clock, my daughter comes running in the bedroom. The hot tub is spitting water everywhere. So I run downstairs and there's two jets, one going this way, one going that way, that should be submerged and they're not. So now it's spitting water on our French doors from the patio. It looks like you're in a car wash.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, Elle, did you touch anything? She's like, no. I'm like, we'll talk about that in a minute. So I go outside and the only way I fixed it, I just shut the breakers off. Okay. And then I was like, 9 o'clock, I'm not touching this. Go back inside. I said, okay, I heard what you said. So my daughter, they have really good faith as young Christians. And I said, God's in the room. Did you touch any of those buttons? She calls me Dad. Yes, Dad, I did. Okay. I knew she did. But now this is my mini. She's going to give me the problems because I see it's like, oh my God.
Little Tom.
And she's good looking. So imagine, like, she's a good looking girl, not a big headed boy, right? It's different. She'll get way more out of people than I ever did.
Ay, Dios mío. That's what we say.
Exactly. Exactly. And I said, okay, go to your room. No TV, no nothing. Read. You got 1 hour left. You read for the hour. And I didn't yell. I didn't scream. And then when I went upstairs later on, because I had to dry myself off, right? Okay. I go into her room. I gave her a kiss goodnight and everything. And then yesterday morning, I wasn't home. They thought I was in the office, but I wasn't. My wife said, hey, go say goodbye to Dad. She's like, no, I'm afraid. My wife told me this later on. So I had to help my ops team yesterday and drive projects because, winter, we don't normally have to winterize things, but we have 27 degrees. Oh my God, right? So I was wrapping wells in blankets yesterday.
Oh my God.
Took a lot of photos. It's funny.
Oh, that's cool. But that's good though.
Yeah. But you know what? I didn't have a lot of out of the office time the last 2 weeks. So I was like, oh, you need help? I got you. I'm leaving. Got to drive all day and have fun like I used to. Because it's rare anymore. So I called home, got her put on the phone. Is this true? She's like, well, yeah. Why? Have I ever hit you? She's like, well, no, I don't hit my children. I don't need to. We talk. Did I yell at you? She's like, well, yeah. I'm like, I yelled. I didn't raise my voice. Well, I felt that you were yelling. Well, did you lie to me at first? That's what you were feeling, the lie. And she's like, yeah, Daddy, you're right. Okay. When I got home last night, it was late, but we talked for a few minutes, okay, because I needed that changed. Because then I made her the same deal that I made with my son. Our relationship changes when you lie to me. I will always trust you, give you the benefit of the doubt until that day. I'll be really disappointed if we lose that.
And what did she say?
Give me a big hug and a kiss. Said, do I get my phone back for the weekend? Absolutely not. That phone's mine for a while. Aww. Okay? Because there's rules, the guardrails. For every action, there has to be the correct response. Yeah. Not a reaction, response. Somebody told me at 49, I was starting to get emotional intelligence. So 5 years later, I got a little more, okay? Because I don't want to be that dad. Right. Having had that dad.
Right.
I didn't want to be a father because of who my father was. I thought I had to be him. And then somebody gave me permission. You know what they said to me? You don't have to be him. No. I've never let myself think that. I didn't want to have children till I was 44. Oh no, I'm not doing that. Didn't want them because I thought I had to be my dad. And then all of a sudden now, if I could have a dozen, now my wife says no, but if I could, I would.
But you choose to be.
Yes, but I wasn't able to comprehend that until someone told me that. Yeah. Well, how many children do you have?
I have two.
Two. Boys, right?
They're both boys, okay. 27 years old and they're 20.
Okay.
And I raised them both basically by myself. I was married for almost 20 years. Fortunately, it was not a good marriage. But
Fortunately?
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately. But for 20 years?
Yeah, it was not a good marriage. But I mean, I try to keep it together for my boys. Because I mean, back home, that's our...
In Peru.
Peru.
Everybody, she's not from New York. She's from Peru.
I was born in Peru.
Right.
So that was basically, that's what family, our
absolutely.
Culture. You stay with your husband, with the parent, with your spouse until the end,
it's over. This is it.
And
you can't push them off the mountains.
Well, no, I know. I wish I would. I went back over there and then...
Hey, we're gonna go to Machu Picchu and you're falling off.
Yes.
Right?
Come on, let's go. Okay. Oops, sorry. But yeah, so I raised my voice. So I mean, and I tried my best. I did my best with them, and they're good boys. I can say they're good boys.
No, they're good men.
Um,
They're good men.
they're good men right now. Yes, the oldest, he's good. He's he moved out.
Aw,
Yeah,
it
he
happens.
moved
You want
out.
them out though. I know you don't, but you need them to be adults
Yes.
out, right? And I know, so like your culture, my wife's culture is no, they can all stay in the home forever. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I
Because
learned that they have to fly. They have to fly.
I love
And
that.
it wasn't easy, but I learned. And in my second one, when he's ready to fly, it will hurt me again. But at the end of the day, I know that I did a good job as a parent. I know I did my best, and I know he'll do his best, and he'll continue doing his best. And whenever he needs me or they need me, I'll be there.
That's, your job as a parent.
It never ends.
Well, yes, but it's to raise responsible adults. For them to achieve all that they're capable of, they must be responsible adults. And we lose that in society today. Helicopter parents, parents who want to. I was talking to a friend who's a college administrator, and they're like, their parents call me. I'm like, wait a minute, college, right? You're like, yeah, yeah, 22-year-old kid, 21-year-old men, boys, girls, whatever, and their parents are calling to argue things. You didn't sign no paperwork. I don't talk to you, okay? And I'm like, man, that's why we have the problems today.
Well, the big problem is social media. For
Yeah.
me, for kids right now, because basically they're into social media. They're not doing their homework. They're not doing their assignments because that basically is an obstacle for me. When I was going to school here,
We didn't have it.
I was working full time during the day. I was going to school at night,
Yep.
and then I had maybe another job. So two jobs, being a single mom, paying mortgage, going to school. If so, I mean, there was social media, but I was not into it. So my kids, they come to me, they say, Mom, I cannot do it. No, you could do it. I don't want to hear it. Stay away from social media and you could do it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear no buts that I can't. No, no, and no. I will not take a no for an answer.
You're not supposed to.
No. Social media basically, yeah, I mean, it helps if you're doing something, but if you're not, if you're in school, your priority is school.
So
Period.
I agree. My son got on social media at 16. Okay, I can't keep him off it forever. But it's also related to grades. We moved him to a private school years ago. He's incredibly smart. Okay, and in public school he could get lost and slack, and then at the very end of the semester or quarter catch up. I didn't like that. I'd get these midterms where this is still talking like fifth grade. We moved him over in sixth grade. He would have a C at the middle of the quarter, and next thing you know, he's back to an A. I'm like, yeah, no, we're not doing this. So we moved him over into this private school, and then they put him into all advanced placement classes. Okay, I think it was like they ease you into it, sixth grade, seventh grade, and then ninth grade. And so he argued about being in all these hard classes because you have really good contact with the school and you meet with them. And we were at the session where they're saying, hey, next year you're going to be in all advanced placement classes. And he's like complaining about it. I'm like, okay, well, let me talk here with him. Like, all in the same room. So you're telling me, I said, his name is Aiden, that you can't do this. And he's like, no, it's going to be hard. I didn't ask that. That's not why I don't care if it's hard. The school is telling me you should be in these classes. Are you telling me they're wrong? He's like, no. But he thanked me now. He is 11th grade. He's in college now.
Oh, he's in the dual. Nice. Good for him.
And so he's still maintaining a 95 or better average.
Wow.
Because the school has a really cool rule. If you are that kind of average, you don't have to take midterms or finals. Oh, so he gets an extra week off every half, right? And he's like, man, I get a long break. He was out of school from like December 12th to January 6th or 7th, whenever they went back, because he didn't have to go to school that week. Yeah. And my deal with him is, now their deal is all A's. That's only a 90. My deal is 95 or better. 95 or better. That week, that extra week he has, that's your week. You've earned it. You want to stay up late, you want to do this, you want to do that, that's your week. And he's smart enough to say, man, I can do whatever I want this week. And he's done that. Now this would be the third full year.
Wow, good for him.
Yeah.
Very good.
He came to work now a little more with us. He wanted to get an extra job. He was going to go to work at Publix, which is probably a good place to work because his friends work there. But they wanted 3 weeknights and a weekday, or 3 weeknights and a weekend. I don't want him doing work on weeknights. So he works for the business one weekend day for, it might be 8-10 hours. Okay. He doesn't work for me though. He does, but he works for one of my other companies and they take care of it all.
Okay.
I got to have that separation.
Of course.
Okay. And he has responsibilities. And so he has a manager and then the ops manager over him. Okay, I'm out. I know he worked last Sunday. I don't know. I know kind of what he did. Okay. They're like, you don't want to know how he did? I'm like, if there's a problem, I'm sure you'll tell me. That's how I look at it. Okay, because that's on him. At that point, he calls me ready, Mr. Lehmann. He doesn't call me Pop.
Oh. He knows so the difference between family and business. Yeah, which is good.
Yeah.
It's good. Same thing with friendship, friends, and business.
This sounds familiar. So you just hired a friend.
I just hired a friend.
Okay.
But I set things straight. Like friendship is friendship, business is business.
But now we're going to put it all on paper with expectations and documentation because the goal, see, it's hard working with friends.
It's hard.
And the goal is to exit as friends. And how do you do that? Good paperwork. Everything in writing. Okay. Like I explained to you, like Jen is a great friend of mine. Great friend of mine. We've been friends for 7 years now. Since her broker bought my first flip, she was involved. She sold my second flip. I couldn't even write a contract back then. Okay.
Wow.
And then we were working together as she was working, selling my stuff. And then last summer, I love my story on this. She gets a kick out of it. She calls me up and says, can we have a meeting? Okay, great. I have a proposal for you. And you know me, my sense of humor. I'm like, Jen, I'd love to, but I'm already married, da 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 da. And she's like, oh, shut up, right? Okay. So then we set the meeting, and then she offered me, she wanted to come work. Okay. And she came on as my sales manager. And then later on, she offered me her broker's license for free.
Wow.
I said, oh, fantastic. I love free. So you're financially set for retirement. She's like, no. So why don't we do it like this? Partner. And this is how it works. Because though there's that street guy in me still who's like, oh man, I get it for free. Let me get that. But that's not correct for her. And that would have created problems down the line. So now she's fully invested in growing our business together. I love that, right? Because just like with every other business I own, the manager, we call them business unit leaders, that's on them to take care of it. I got you don't need me, do you? But we talk every day. They're my only technical direct reports. I don't have direct reports. I don't manage anybody. But I speak with my business unit leaders every day. It could be 15 minutes. It could be Kelly's new. So she's getting an hour every day and as much as she needs. Okay. Just like I told you with yours, it's my responsibility to make sure she succeeds.
And I do want her to succeed. You know, I do want her. She's a great person, a great
No,
woman.
she is.
And
I know her.
And I know she is capable and she's going to. And I'm hard. I'm not easy.
You better be.
I'm not an easy person. And I think she agrees with that. If she's going to see this, she knows. But I want her to succeed because that basically, it would lead you to that success. The same way that's where I am right now. It wasn't easy. You know, it's been hard. And I think if I did it, she's gonna do it, and anyone could do it too. You know, and there's no buts.
I believe that.
There's no buts. I don't believe in buts.
Okay. I believe that anything after but is BS, right? The saying goes.
Laziness.
You know, I was if you could imagine this, I used to be incredibly lazy. Incredibly lazy.
You, Tom?
Yeah, incredibly lazy. I'm very talented in certain areas. And when I was younger, if I didn't succeed right away, I quit. I only stayed in what I was good at. That included sports. I was good in a lot of them. I would do it, right? It was like football, not basketball, obviously, wrestling. I took to it, baseball.
Wow.
And in other sports, I was like, yeah, I'm not good at this, quit. Let me just, but I think a lot of people, you'll see it, talented but lazy. I won't even say I'm talented anymore. I'm disciplined. I am, you already know that, right? Consistent, discipline, practice daily wins. Okay. If I don't know how to do this, look, real estate, when I first came into real estate, I said, I had no clue. I'll be fine. This should be easy. First year I sold, now I didn't even know how to find homes, and I still found 3 my first year with my business partner at the time. I made $4,000 though.
Wow.
But I had a father, because this was a man who is my father figure.
Okay.
He invited me. We talk about this very nostalgic, because we had a great year. We hung out every day. I never had a dad like that. We were at these flips every day, doing everything we shouldn't have done. Okay. I learned what not to do,
Okay.
but I made $4,000 only. 4,000.
Wow.
That didn't pay for gas. Okay. I made zero. One flip I made 8. One flip I made 4, and then I lost on another one, right?
But
So
on your first flip,
3,
I
yeah,
mean,
but
how
I
much
walked
time did you invest?
50, 60, 70 hours a week.
Wow, so that didn't pay.
No, I didn't even make gas money for my truck back. So I was, between what I lent the business, I was down about 100K after year 1. And I used to have a 6-figure plus business before that I left. My wife had no clue how bad things were. And then I said, if I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail on my own. Because Ron, my father figure, he didn't need money. I wouldn't take money either. I said, I better go figure this out. And then I hired a coach. She beat the hell out of me, technically, right? I love it. It changed my thinking. And so one night we were on a COVID time. In the beginning of COVID, like it's like April or something, May. And so I hired her. It was $997. It was a lot of money back then for me. I couldn't afford to lose it. Probably didn't have it. Just put it on a credit card like I get everything else. And I had to have these 5 questions answered. Hi, Marlena, this is you. 5 questions. And so to me, I just expected validation. She destroyed me. She shredded. She's like, I can't believe you came with those answers. If it was her husband, Josh, I'm probably not here today. But it was a woman, so I was very respectful. We got off the call. I thought about just emailing her right then and there and quitting. I was gone.
Wow.
I said, I'll do it in the morning, because I had a babysit that night. My wife was working she was a bank manager. I had to take care of Elle. It was baby shark night, because it was Friday night. This was our deal, right? Baby shark, we're singing, shower, the whole thing, because I'm dad. And I woke up the next morning and said, the best thing that ever happened to me right there. I became a sponge, and I'm going to learn everything. And that was only 5 years ago from that date. 5 years.
Wow.
And
And look at you now.
I know a little more, and I can do a little more than write a contract. A little more. But it was because I changed my mindset. I changed my thinking. And now you've met my team. I have an incredible team.
You do.
Okay.
Definitely.
And I had to change me to get people of that caliber into my organization. See, it starts with me, not with anybody else. Accountability, I hold myself incredibly accountable. I let my team hold me accountable, because I'm sure as heck going to hold them accountable. Goes both ways, right? But the change and growth starts here. So when I read books, I share it with them. You'll be a part of this now. Like, we're going to do some books soon, okay?
Yes.
Because my son asked me, what's the difference between then and now? I show him my bookshelf is pretty big, okay? And it's important that we always keep educating ourselves.
Yes. Correct. That's true. I mean, education is the key to success. And that again, for me, education is very important too.
I have a master's degree. I never used it.
No, on what?
Biology.
That's the opposite. Not even close to real estate.
So,
oh my God.
I went to chiropractic school after college, and I left after a year. Then I went to Emory and got a master's. And then I got a job with Pfizer. But because I switched schools, I was like 3 or 4 months later than entering their program. They only start the program to work in a lab. I was going to work in a lab. I'm a lab guy, supposed to be. They gave me a job as a pharmaceutical salesperson. I had a choice. I could wait till it started again. I just graduated grad school. I'm broke.
Oh my God, yeah.
So I need a job. So they offered me a job. They said, no, but we'll give you a job. Sales.
Wow.
And I wasn't a salesperson until then. And you know what just came out at that time? Viagra.
Ay, Dios mío.
Yeah. So we grew with the business, right?
Yes, of course. Everyone wanted my.
And remember, there's no internet. You had to go to the doctor's office. I can be a people person if I need to be. And so it was a license to print money legally.
Wait, did they have to? Did they? I mean, you've printed the samples, right?
Right.
Did they
But
try the
then,
samples?
well, I'm sure they did, right? But here's the thing. That was the launching pad to everything else. 3 years, they gave me a contract, and then they merged with, I think it was AHP. Then they were offering me a buyout. I didn't know what the heck a buyout was. I am 1 month from marrying the first time. My lawyer, my accountant at the time said, take the buyout in stock options, sign that thing before you get married because you're stupid. That's what he told me. Now, this is my college roommate, high school friend's dad. He knew me. He's like, you're stupid, because he knew I shouldn't be getting married either. We were just kids together and so dumb. But signing it before kind of helped a little bit, right? And that also was the launching pad to my first business because I borrowed against that to start it. And then it split 3-for-1. I did really well. We had health food stores, 3 states, 30 some odd locations.
Oh, wow.
But that was bad for me because I grew up so dirt poor. All of a sudden I have this like,
Amazing life.
yeah, we were, some weeks there was 100,000 in profit, weeks.
Wow.
Weeks. And then I moved to Miami to open up stores with my college roommate. What could go wrong? Everything. I'm lucky I survived it. I don't remember a lot of that decade for sure.
Wow, Miami.
My wife wouldn't move down there.
No.
So I stayed in Miami. She stayed in New Jersey we were like separated. I always said we were separated by 1,000 miles. And that lasted for like 5 or 6 years. Then finally we just, did the paperwork.
Wow.
So, but not my favorite time period. Not my best either. But, it's the growth of each of us. And then I moved out of Miami because when I left there, I only knew that lifestyle. So I quit, and I'm always honest about it. I had a drug habit that $100K a week can take care of without a problem. It was club drugs. I was in the clubs every night. That's all I knew about Miami, is go out and party. And where the beach was.
That's what it's known for, right?
And I live right on Miami Beach.
Wow.
I owned the condo. I still own the condo, thankfully. And I owned a house right on Pine Tree Drive, right on the Intercoastal.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And this is one incident changed my life. We would, in our health food stores, give everything to the police for free. Everything. I don't care what you want. It's free. Put it in the bag and give it to them. That was the deal. I got pulled over by a Miami Beach police officer, 11 o'clock on a Thursday morning. I was doing well up into the 80s on the wrong side of the street in a CL 55 AMG, yada, yada, yada. It was like a $180,000 car back then because I got it in Europe, brought in from Canada. It had no governor. He was a very good customer in the store. Didn't arrest me. 11 o'clock, August.
Did he give you a
Daytime.
warning, or
He made me sit on the curb for 5 hours in the sun. I'm coming home from the clubs now. My condo is right there.
You were so lucky.
I didn't kill anybody. That's what I'm lucky for. And Lynn, who is like another mom to me, came to Miami because she's like, I need to come see you. I haven't seen you in a long time. What's going on with you? Okay. My mom sent her down. Go check on my son. And so she came out of the condo. She saw me sitting on the curb, didn't say a word, drove off. Later on that night, she said, you're just like your father. My father was an alcoholic. Now, alcohol wasn't my problem, but it's still an addiction, right? I quit cold turkey that day. I've never touched drugs again. I didn't drink for 14 years.
Wow.
I don't drink again now. I will, I feel the days are wasted if we do the next day. But I became a shut-in in Miami for a while because that's all I know. I can't go out.
Yeah.
It's like, and 4 months later, now we're in 09, the world's ending financially. I just walked away from the store business, right? Because it was just storefronts. People couldn't afford milk. They can't afford what I sell. I moved to California. No job. I didn't need to work. I had some money. Took about 18, 20 months off. I had to find who I was, who I really was, with nobody around me. It was like I exiled myself to the desert. I didn't know anybody. And San Diego, where I lived, has no party life. Like literally, last call is 12:30, 1 o'clock. And if you're used to New York City and Miami, it's like, this is lame. There's no reason to go out.
I like San Diego. We love it. We went.
No, our vacation there is great, you know, but that's where I reinvented, I found the start of the new person.
Wow.
You know, never touched it again. I'm open about that. Okay. You know, I was.
Everyone goes through stuff,
Mhm.
you know. So when we're young, we just go through stuff.
I was in my 30s. I wasn't young.
You were young. You were young.
You know, I didn't know better.
Yeah.
Having no money, going from no money to a lot of money, like most people, you lose it quick.
Mm-hmm.
I had a house on Pine Tree Drive with 12 parking spaces in my garage. I couldn't put a 12th car in. I had 11 because I had to use that at the entryway to get in. None of them were made in America, by the way. And they weren't Hondas either. Okay.
Well,
I had 11 depreciating assets paid for with cash.
wow.
So that was one of the top 10
Wow.
mistakes right there. I don't own a vehicle today. My companies do, but I don't own anything like that. Because no one taught me about money. And if you don't know about it and you've never had it, and when you get it, you will lose it quick. My children know way more about money than I ever did until now. We have great conversation. My children own houses. They just don't know. They're on my payroll legally. We use the money for school. Now they have scholarships, so the money goes into their IRAs, self-directed. They own houses. They private lend to people. They don't know. My son does now. Okay, they don't get it till they're 27. Wow. Just in case they're stupid. Yeah. I doubt it, but you know, just in case, right? I don't want them to have a big nest egg to start things. I want them to struggle a little. Struggle's important.
Struggle and being humble.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, I was not humble back then at all.
No, I don't think so. What? Based on what you just said, no, I don't. I doubt you were humble.
I'll show you a picture and you tell me one day if I look humble, right? I had an ego that couldn't fit in this room. Now it's all about service and being humble, okay? Helping. Because I've been gifted this chance, this second chance. And I'm responsible for a lot. But we have an amazing team that you're a part of. We're growing more together. And it's as we grow together, we serve more. You know, we were just working on our, we do culture events in the company. So Jeannie and I the other day were planning out the whole year. Christmas is different, but we're going to do a hockey game. Okay. We're going to go to the Solar Bears in one of those areas. And we're, you know, okay, we're going to do a day at Aquatica.
Nice.
Have you ever been there?
Aquatica?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think yes, maybe once.
Okay, that's the water park that SeaWorld owns. It's really cool. We're going to get this cabana area so we have a space to sit because you need to have a space to sit.
Yes, of course.
And so that will be one day. Then we're going to do an escape room.
That's fun.
Yeah, I've never done one.
No,
Nope.
I've done it once.
Nope.
It's fun.
Yeah, like the last quarter last year, we did zip lining, tree trek. That was fun.
See, I've never done.
Yeah, tree trek in the morning, and then we went to a house I own in the afternoon. It's over in Reunion area, and we did the pool, the jacuzzi, lunch. Okay.
Cool. Okay.
So, and then we're going to do 2 giving days. Okay, where we're going to do. My friend has a nonprofit in Kissimmee, and we're going to do their food pantry day.
Nice. That's nice.
And then my wife and I, we donate to 2 churches by us. Excuse me, in Groveland. We're going to pick a day and do the same thing there. And we're like their biggest sponsors. Okay. So we'll go there, everybody wear their shirts and whatever, and we'll just serve. It may be the stuff we donated or our money bought. When we my wife and I have done this many times, but when we do that, no one knows beside the administrator that who we are. We're just there to help. Right. And that's the important part. We bring our children. Our children come to those events. That's nice. You know, they need to know that I never use I use the word fortunate. I'll never say privileged because I didn't grow up with any kind of privilege. Let me tell you right now. The streets were different back then. It was just, you know, I was a minority in my neighborhood. Okay. I look at everybody as a person. I don't care what your color is. If you were a Martian, that was the only thing I would ask you is, can I see your spaceship? That would be it. I don't care.
Yes.
And I think that's lost today.
Yes. Yes. Like me too. Like I was born in Peru. We didn't have luxury in Peru. I mean, it's a third world country.
But in Peru, so you're a lighter color and you have a lot of the Indians, right? There's a hierarchy.
And Japanese too.
Yeah, yes. The
Yes.
president was Japanese.
Yes.
Fuji, didn't they put him in jail though?
He was in jail, but he was a good one though. For years, he was a good one. Yeah, we didn't have luxury. My dad moved to New York when I was 7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom just was the one there. Um, we seen our cousins, friends that they had it all. We didn't. We
Mm-hmm.
didn't. So I think that taught us how to be humble, how to
Mm-hmm.
be, appreciate.
Yes.
So now that my children, as they grow, once they were growing, I used to take them to Peru so they can see my family back home.
Mm-hmm.
I have family that's still
The
poor.
roots, where you came from. Yeah.
I have family that they poor.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have, a house that we have here or a house made of brick. They have a house made of
My wife grew up in
concrete.
Guyana.
Yeah.
I know.
So and then when they see this, they're like, okay. So they see like they can appreciate and then they know, what you have here in the US, you are basically fortunate.
Oh my God. And the problem with Americans in general, though, they're very untraveled for the majority. This is all they know. Like, this is a horrible country. Where have you been? Nowhere. Oh, I've been to Jersey.
Yeah.
Where have you been? Where have you seen the world?
Mm-hmm.
And they're only you looking at this and telling me how horrible this is. Shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my friend's daughter, whatever, she's an idiot. I'm not saying names. She has she's driving a Tesla now. She's never knew anything but new cars. First, new. She graduated college, they bought her a car. Like, after she graduated, like, why are you buying her a car? Well, because she can't take care of herself. And then she's complaining about how bad America is.
I don't
Parents
think
pay for your condo, not apartment. Okay, like, it's in her name, and parents, mommy and daddy pay the mortgage. She's very underemployed. She doesn't care if she has a job because they're going to give her money. They have money like that.
Wow.
She's in her late 20s. And, the father and I, we know each other well. I said, what am I supposed to do? Cut her off.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, or change her name to Yogi. He's like, what the hell are you talking about? Because you have a bear who only knows how to get fed.
Oh.
Okay? That's only knows. So you've created a monster who only knows how to get fed.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they say don't feed the bears. Because then they have to relearn how to feed themselves. And your child has never learned how to take care of herself because no matter what happened, you fixed it. You fixed it, right? Instead of letting them struggle, adversity. And he's like, that's bullcrap. I'm like, okay, dude, I'll put my child against her. I'll put my 8-year-old against her, right? She doesn't clean her own condo. They pay for someone to come in and clean for her. Good luck with that one. Can't keep a job, even in her degree field, because she's so being used to taking care of.
No.
I can't show up at 9 o'clock. That's just not happening.
She needs to learn. She needs to learn how to.
But the rules have always been bent for her.
No. Wow.
There's the problem. There's the guardrail issue. Okay. Once you've been used to breaking all the guardrails, you're never going to want to self-impose them. And mom and dad won't put them in there because they're afraid of alienating her. Okay, tell Yogi I said hi.
Mistake, yeah, huge mistake.
Mm-hmm. No, and it's because he's asked and doesn't like my answers. That's fine. Mm-hmm. You're going to have trouble later in life. Well, she'll pull herself out of it. Not if you keep taking care of Yogi. Mm-hmm. That's what I call that, Yogi Bear. Mm-hmm. And people laugh when I say because you did, right? Because it's like, hey, give me the picnic basket.
Yes. Even for example, talk about it last night. I was cleaning up my house because I had family coming into town. And then I'm telling my son, we need to fix the house here, and there. And then suddenly I get an email for my car insurance. So my policy is still my two boys are still my policy. So it's like a cancellation email. So I freaked out because my oldest is the one who pays the insurance. I made it make sure that even though you're at the house and I'm helping you get a reduced rate, right? You're gonna pay the insurance. So I called insurance. I made a payment with his credit card. Declined. Oh, I freaked out. I had him on speakerphone. So my other son he is listening to the conversation. It's okay. I made the one payment, 1 month. Okay. Next month, I said to my youngest, because he's going to my oldest house tonight. So your brother to pay it. Otherwise, he's out. If I say something, start yelling, I'm the bad mom. I'm helping you guys, and this is how I get paid back. Like,
But
no.
I want to jump in here, right? I think you should deal it directly with your oldest and not bring your youngest into it.
He's into the policy too. He's in my policy too.
But he shouldn't be the one giving the message to the oldest one.
Right. But he was like, sorry. But he's like, Mom, I didn't know what this is basically. From now on, starting March, you're gonna pay utilities in the house. You're gonna pay.
Still doing movie night though with them, right?
And then he said, "Okay, Mom," because he's not paying anything right now. I don't because he's also in school, so I let him go to school. I let him pay his own bills. School bills. But now after last night, no more. You know what? You guys want to be adults because they keep telling me I'm an adult. Okay, this is gonna happen now. Okay, Mom. Okay.
But if he pays it monthly, I would suggest I pay my insurance either half a year or yearly because of a big discount. Okay, so I would pay, what I would do for you. I mean, I would do for him. I would pay it and make him pay you.
He won't pay me back.
Then you just take him off.
I want to.
Okay.
Trust me,
but that's what I would do because now you're saving hundreds of dollars, if not more. Okay. Like, hey, I'm going to do this, but give me your card. We're going to set up automatic payments.
We have that.
Okay, and when you get declined, I cancel your policy. I cancel your policy.
Maybe I'm a good mom still. Like I feel like that.
But I want you to be financially better with it because the savings, right?
Yeah.
The savings.
And I did have a talk with him like a couple months ago. And then I even asked him, like, Chris, I mean, you already moved out, you live with the girlfriend, whatever. Don't you think, Mom, it's, he said I was shopping for rates, but it's expensive on my end.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure.
Okay. But if you're going to continue paying, that's fine with me. I mean, as long as you pay, I'm okay.
But you got to even though he's saying he's not going to pay you, that's wrong. Okay. And so that needs, because, there shouldn't be a difference between paying the insurance or paying Mom for the insurance. It's paying. Okay. They can't look at it as if Mom pays it, it's free.
That's what I can think. Like maybe Mom would let me,
Mom not let you slide.
And I'm like, so that's what I don't want. That's what I don't want. I want them to pay them directly, not
sit them down. Yeah, but the savings. Okay.
I know.
I would create the expectation sheet. I have one with my child, with my son. He drives my car. The deal he made with me was he drives my Chevy Silverado. Okay. And the deal was that if he got all A's until he gets his license, not permit, but license, he gets the car. But now this is a big capital B-U-T. He has to maintain all A's through the rest of high school or the college part right there. And then it's his car because he got all A's. If he gets 1B, he owes me money with interest for it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. I got it in writing. So last year when he was going to college, my rule is you can't quit something you're involved in already. You can quit before you start, or if you don't want to do it again next, that's fine. But once you start, you finish. So he came to me the month before football season started. He only played for 2 years. And, Pop, can we talk? Come on in. Yep. I do not want to play football coming up. Okay. Why? I'm in college. I got that note signed with you. I don't want to screw up.
Aww.
Good answer. But he still has to be involved in something. So he goes to the gym 5 days a week. 5 days a week, he has to go to the gym. Okay? Because I want activity.
When does he go to the gym if he's in school and he's doing
after school?
After school, okay.
So he takes his sister to school in the morning. Okay. Then he goes over to Grandma and Grandpa's house, who lives right there. And then he does a lot of his classes online. He's there doing his classes because Grandma's hard. Let me tell you, man, she's got that spoon probably out. Bum, bum, bum. And then at the end of the day, because he has to go to the high school, I think he has 2 classes in high school. And then he brings his sister home after school. I mean, he's still like our personal driver too. It's like, okay, well now, this comes because we pay for the car, the insurance. Okay. And he sees how much it costs. Um, but that's the paperwork we have. I have good expectations with my son, everything in writing, because it needs to be.
I'm gonna set that up at home now.
What's wrong with it?
Yeah.
Oh, you're hard. I'm not hard. My son has an easy life compared to what I had.
Right.
But he's earned what he has. I'm not the give person for nothing. I give you a house. I give you food. I give you clothes. I give you vacations. I expect this. Good behavior. I have 3 rules. Just 3. Good Christian, good human, good student. I decide what good is, though. I'm the final. Those are 3 rules, but those gates are narrow because he knows who I am and what would violate my rules. Okay. It's important that we give them those boundaries, those guardrails, the structure.
Yep.
Children need structure. Those parents who are always, well, let me ask my 4-year-old what they want to do. Dude, they're 4. They don't get but you see that, right? And children don't understand that. It confuses them.
You have to ask permission. It's like, why are you asking for 4-year-old permission? No.
So let me tell you, when I got my son, that's how he came. Oh yeah. Because single mom, she felt bad and she indulged so bad.
I think that's what happened to me too. Yeah.
Probably because you feel bad, right? But she needed to have that separation. And so I remember I wouldn't even meet Aiden for 3 or 4 months until we were good. Because I didn't want to interject myself. It's weird with my wife. I swore I would never get married again. I swore I would never have children. And 3 months after we met, we were planning a wedding. I was like, what happened here? Like I moved to Florida to take care of my mom, and she must have poisoned the curry, I say.
I don't think it was the curry.
But it was like that. And so then we spent the weekend as a family together, right? And he never we didn't even sleep in the same room when I slept over. He slept next to her. I slept in another room. But then we went out, and then it was I forget what, I think it was like Memorial Day weekend. And then we went shopping, grocery shopping. And he threw such a fit in the store if he didn't get what he wanted. And I'm like, oh, I'm done with this. This isn't happening. This is not going to happen. He made her sit in the back of the car. And I get that part. Good dude. Okay. But it's like, I want this. I want that. I want this. I want that. Jalapeno hot cheese sauce. Now my wife, she was my girlfriend then. Single mom, deadbeat dad. You know the story. Mortgage, car, didn't have money. And I remember the jar was like $6. That's a lot of money for her. And it's not going to be used. But she got him. She spent, and we counted it up one day, that day afterwards, $80 on junk for him. I would never let her throw it away till we moved out of that house.
Oh my God.
Unless it was something that would perish.
Yeah.
And we had a talk after that. I said, I love you. I just can't be involved in if this is how it's going to be. And she said, I don't know how to fix that. I said, I don't know either. We'll figure it out. And we just started putting in these little, things. And then I got involved because, it was really cool because, my first experience of being a dad, I didn't have to change diapers. And the boy says, or the mom says to me, he wants to play sports. I'm like, sports? I love sports. Come on, let's go. He's like, oh, I'll play soccer. I'm like, soccer? That's just running. Okay, put him into a soccer league. Then it was basketball. He was on the most horrible team you've ever seen. Horrible team. But a friend of mine, his son both his kids played in college, Division I, played overseas in Europe in the professional league, and they taught this. So then, I hope Mike sees this. So he goes and, so my son is a black coach, Mike is black. Mike comes to me and says, I've never seen a black guy who couldn't coach basketball. And I just laugh. He's like, so we're going to help. Him and his 2 sons came in and he says, listen, these kids can never score. I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to teach them defense. And they went from losing games 20 or 30 to 3 to 5 to 2, 5 to 3. And they end up winning a game or 2. My son's at the end of the season, he was just putting up shots and not even looking. And then the one went in, it was like, oh my God, it went in, right?
Yeah.
But you know what? They learned defense. And then my son used to practice at home now. Okay. And then we put him into a different league after that. Because that was everyone could get a trophy league. That's not a good way to, do life. And then they were on this league where they had to travel. So we're going to like drive an hour to game. I mean, it's crazy. They're in like middle school. We're traveling to an hour away for I think it was a YMCA or something like that games. And some of the parents couldn't make it because they worked. We would forfeit. So I thought this was great parenting. I went out and bought a Nissan NV 3500 van. It was a really nice van too. If you had everything, captain's chairs, and it was cool. I come home.
The soccer car.
It was basketball now, basketball. So my wife says, "What's that?" I'm like, "Oh, it's the van for basketball." And she's like, "Wait, stop. Okay." She's like, "You bought a van just for basketball?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "No, we quit basketball." No, we don't quit. And so then I would pick up all the kids, make sure we had a full squad.
Wow, that's nice.
And then she took my van away.
She wanted to take your job away then. She wanted to get the
But then COVID happened and things, so we didn't, we got rid of the van. I traded the van in for a pickup truck because now I'm doing real estate.
Okay. So
Okay, I got a Tundra now, right?
Yeah.
So okay. But I had another car. I forgot I had a small SUV because I let my mom drive too back then. So I always had to have two anyway because she didn't drive that much, so she didn't need her own car.
Mm-hmm.
So then I had two vehicles most of the time because I shared one with her. So then I had the Tundra and I forget what it was, it's a Chevy or something.
Okay.
And but that was my parenting skills. Can't quit.
I know. You can't. You never quit.
No.
You never quit as a
No.
parent.
Nope.
You always have to be there to guide them, and and they make mistakes. You have to basically guide them through their mistakes, and they
You have to let them make mistakes.
Yes.
Okay. My belief is that if you're always jumping in to save them, whether that's your children or your employees, you're robbing them of a victory. Just like, so, you learn to drive a car, your hands are at 10 and 2. Got to just keep them off the wheel though, and let it go. Watch before it gets too bad. With my employees and my team, I let them make certain mistakes. I'm seeing the emails, but I'm watching them as we go not make the mistakes. Because then we'll have meetings and we'll correct it. You'll see, we'll eventually start bringing you into our Thursday meetings, okay? Because that'll be just another business we're working with. And then Title works with our brokerage, our loan company, the dealership too, because there's all this other stuff going on. So we have a Thursday meeting, 11:30 to 12:30. It could be, and everybody who runs a business and is involved, that's where that gets. And we discuss numbers, we discuss what's going on in each other's business because it affects the whole ecosystem.
Of course.
Okay.
Especially Title, when something comes up in Title, we have to educate you guys. I mean, tell you what comes.
Not me.
That's my job.
Not me though. Well, I don't really answer those emails. But so between Brandon, Jen, and them, they're on point.
They are. Brandon he's a rock star. Like
everybody says that. It's so funny, right? So me and him, if you ever hear us talk, it's like two street kids because he is one too.
He is, yeah.
Okay, but when you get him on the phone with other people, it's so professional, and I'm like, that's all fake, dude.
I have called him. Yes, I have spoke to him, and he's like, he's cool. I like him.
But he comes to our culture events.
He does. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I want to meet him in person. I haven't met him in person yet, but I want.
When we have an office, he says he's coming to my office every day.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Because I know you have space, but maybe you don't need your space eventually soon.
Maybe.
I have a space, a house. I'm gonna use one of my houses.
Okay.
I got a house at the Davenport Champions Gate right there. Gated community. It's a townhome. It's I think it's a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. And so everyone can have an office.
I have the first floor.
House with owner financing.
Me too. I was looking for a house. I was telling actually my boyfriend because we went to a Christmas event last year, and then one of these brokers and their office in a little small house in downtown Orlando said, "Honey, I want a house like this for the office. This is perfect. Like, this is like what do you want to rather buy? What are the options?" I mean, he suggested, "Why don't you buy and maybe you live in the back?" Good idea, and I can rent.
You got to buy with owner financing or subject to. It can't be like through a bank.
Yeah, and then I said maybe I rent out my house because my house is a 4-3, a 2-floor, and it's big already. Right now, it's big for me and my youngest. So I'm like, maybe you're right, and then So okay, let's look into it. And then we had that
Mhm.
talk and say, okay. And then you know what? Okay, Tom.
Well, you know,
Because
one
that's
thing, when we started talking the first day,
yeah.
I told you what I wanted to do. And
And
you
I
were
told
like,
you to
but I'm very blunt on what I want to do and where, and it's like, you know, hey, this is what I'm looking to do. Because I had options. Um, we chose to work with you on this because we felt we aligned well. We know each other somewhat and we can get to know each other. And
well, we didn't talk back then. We only, I mean,
no, no, but,
I seen you, on,
mhm,
walking around and with, working with the other processors and stuff,
mhm.
and then I seen you
But you
there,
understood my
I heard,
temperament, and but you saw where I was and where I am, and
right.
that's not a very long time.
I overheard everything, how your transactions were handled,
You're a
and
mess, a
and
mess,
I heard
a
you.
mess.
In my head, it's like, okay, I don't. I had my own, mind. I mean, how it should be handled, but
Hmm.
I wasn't your closer. I wasn't
Hmm.
your right. So, but I understood the whole system, and right now, I mean,
But they didn't have a good system.
maybe not.
Supposedly, no, they didn't. You know, so
Yeah, even now we're working together, and I think, yeah, we so far we were working really well. Nothing has gone down yet.
but I'm going to tell you, right, and this is what I tell people: there's going to be a problem. We're going to have a fight. We're going to handle it the correct way.
Like you just said,
Hmm.
expectations,
Right.
and this is basically how it
Hmm.
has to be done.
So you met Kelly, my new dealer manager, and I've known her for, I don't know, 6 months or 7 months before she left a Fortune 500 company to work with little old us. That's pretty cool. But it's because of our culture. She wants to be a part of this.
I met her last week
Yeah,
at an
at the
event.
event.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, and she was like
And
this is a
she was there
business
at that
card.
dinner that night, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, and she like give me some business cards. I said okay. So she was giving my business cards to everybody. I'm like,
She
wow.
is
She's like
an
on
amazing addition.
target.
This is first week, and it's like, man, it's like her. But you know, I have to temper her, slow her down because don't be working 11 o'clock at night. I know you start early too. No, no, that's over with. We're having these talks already because you're going to burn out. No, but I have to accomplish. I get it. I see the plan. I love it. But let's make sure that you're not killing yourself because it's a marathon. This isn't a sprint.
Yeah, my boyfriend said that to me.
Hmm. You know, we all want to be successful as quick as possible, but we also understand the stress it puts. And you know, I'm somebody who doesn't need a lot of rest. I think I've had like just like 2 days off this whole month, but I'm making sure every weekend I'm off now. The beginning of the month was scheduled this way. I mean, it was going to be a hectic first 3 weeks. I already knew that. But Sunday, beautiful Sunday, 86 degrees. Looking forward. I don't know when the next nice day is. I went to church early by myself, the 9 o'clock one. I was home by 11. Okay, and I live, you know, right off the lakes of downtown Claremont. What's going on? My wife has been doing, she's been doing construction at the house forever. Okay, cool. You're good. I'm gone. So I took a beach chair. I put it in the back of my truck. Had on my shoes. Right. Had a little bag for me. I went to downtown Claremont, the boat ramp. I walked 3 miles. Got my beach chair. Put it into the sand. Took a nap. I
Nice.
napped there in the sun for almost 2 hours. My friend calls me, and I have a off duty phone. Like 6 people or 8 people have the number, and I have music playing. I'm like, ah, hey man, what are you doing? Are you watching the game? I'm like, there's a game on. I don't watch sports anymore. But he lives up north, so that's what they do when it's cold. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
man, you know how cold it is here? I said, dude, it's 86 degrees here. I'm at the beach sleeping. And he hung up on me. And I walked down to the water. I put one foot in. I'm like, oh man, that's too cold. I'm not going swimming. But there's people in there. I'm like, I'm a Florida guy now. It's
Yeah.
like, that's too cold for me. But I went home to my hot tub though.
Yeah, I was in New York like a couple of weeks ago, because my dad is improved, so my mom is home by herself in Queens. So I went to, to keep some company. At the same time, it was grandma's birthday,
Hmm.
and also my aunt who passed away last August. So grandma has been having these dreams about her daughter. So we did a little service for her in
Hmm.
Queens. So I went there for. So it was cold.
Oh my God, yeah.
So we were there also for New Year's. My boyfriend felt it. I didn't feel it. I was like, I mean, it's cold, but I don't think it's that cold.
Hmm.
But now that I went back to be with my mom, I felt it.
Hmm.
It was cold.
Don't you? It's different up there right now.
Yes, and
It is.
now with the storm that came down,
Yep.
my mom went to work.
She went to work.
Yeah. We were
The
going.
rivers were frozen, which is I've only seen it once in my life.
The snow it's not even snow, it's ice.
Oh yeah, because it got damp and then it got frozen again. People say, "Oh, but I would love to be in snow." You don't want to live in snow though. Like vacationing in it, cool. Living in it, no. I mean, you can't get me ever to do that. We're not going to even think about it. I hate when I have, look, I had to wear pants today. Okay. But if I'm in my office, I'll have a shirt on looking whatever when I need to, but I'm wearing shorts. I guarantee it. Yeah. And flip flops.
Yeah. You have to be comfortable.
Because you only see this, right? It's like, I got, but I'm like.
Yeah. Like this morning, I had a mediation this morning, right? And yeah, of course, I'm still wearing, I'm in my pajamas, but I changed my top just to be in a mediation because they assume.
Right.
So they don't see the bottom, right? So just top, up. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, I'm going to respond to that real quick. Then I'm going to ask you a question about that.
Okay.
Ready for the hard stuff now.
Okay.
No, but we do everything. I use Google Meet for everything. I almost never have the camera on when I'm home anyway, in the office. I just want it recorded and transcribed. That's all I want. I had to tell people, they would come on and they're like, "Don't look at my hair." I'm like, "Dude, just turn the camera off. I don't care." Sometimes I'm on the floor doing yoga. And I got my headphones in and I'm talking with people. They don't know. Love that, right? Yeah. What are you doing? Like, I'm doing yoga. I'm stretching. Why do I got to be at my desk looking at nothing? We're having conversation. I can do a conversation right there. And trying to get that through to people, like, Kelly's newer and she has to be completely dressed and ready to go. Okay, if that's how you start your day, I'm cool with it. And I'm like, the first morning we met on Monday, I had gotten home a few minutes late from the gym, and then I start meetings from 8 to 10:30 every day. Like they're there, and they're non-negotiable unless there's something else that has to, like, I'm gone or whatever. They're in my calendar every day. Okay, wow. And so I had a tank top on, but I had the shirt over it that I came from the gym in because I could have cleaned up or I could have eaten. I'm going to eat because I know my next break is closer to noon. And but she's gold earrings, dressed to the nine. I'm like, "Where are you going?" She's like, "No, this is how I come to the work." I'm like, "Yeah, but you're home." She's like, "Doesn't matter." I'm like, "Okay." That's her part of her routine. Like that's her game day. I get that. She's like, "You don't?" I said, "Nope. Nope." I'm here. These meetings, we don't have to have the camera on. We do a lot of screen sharing and going. I love that part, right? Being able to look at stuff together. But as for, always being dressed professional, probably not going to happen. That's why I have a home office and don't go to, like, I'll go to the new one we're going to have maybe once or twice a week when I'm able to.
Right, right.
But it's for the team.
Right.
Right. So you just spoke about mediation, and your background includes coordinating disputes for the Orange County Bar Association, correct?
Correct. Foreclosures.
Foreclosure, sorry.
The foreclosures, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I'm still employed by the Orange County Bar Association. I handle that foreclosure mediation. So it's between HOAs or mortgages against the homeowners.
So how has working in mediation shaped the way you handle conflict in real estate transactions today?
It's just a matter of the way for myself. I put myself in their shoes and I listen to them first, and then try to understand them and give them some sort of relief, I would say. But at the same time, I have to stay
Neutral, right?
Always, and I cannot give legal advice.
Absolutely.
I cannot. I'm a paralegal, but I am not an attorney. So, and I'm always telling this defendants or homeowners, I can give suggestions, but some of them they listen, some of them won't. So
Story of the world.
But I'm like, okay, this is how I feel, this is what I think, and I suggest this. But always, yeah, I always put myself in their shoes and try to understand them and guide them.
So do you make a recommendation to what should happen next?
No, I cannot.
No, but I mean so if you're doing mediation between two parties, okay.
So we will have a mediator.
Okay.
The mediator will basically mediate. So I will coordinate and I will listen to that. But before we go to mediation, we sit at mediation. They have their issues, what they're going through, or what has transpired during the process of their
foreclosure.
Foreclosure. So they stop payment. They don't, since when I don't know. So they tell me all these
Right.
things, and they think that I can resolve it. I say I can't, but I can, and I hear them
You
out.
can have empathy, but
Yes.
when you're at that point, it's kind of hard.
Yeah. So I
And
hear them out.
HOAs are very unforgiving.
Oh yeah, and the fees that the attorneys charges is crazy.
Yeah, once you get into that, I always, because I've dealt with that before. Once you get into adding the fees for the attorneys, it's almost becomes unfixable.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, and they don't forgive. They don't forgive. And same thing with real estate, with title. Sellers, buyers. Yeah, once a contract comes in, and I call my buyer or my seller and introduce myself, and they also have stories. So
Mhm.
I'm there to listen to their stories, and then try to again guide them as best as I can, so we can all have a nice and successful closing. So that's basically what I do. I listen. I listen.
But you're very communications is big.
The communication
And
is a plus.
that's what I asked Brandon when we did the first deal last year. We were starting. I said, "How was that?" He's like, "Good, okay," because we have our own system.
Yeah.
Okay, how we do business, and you've seen that. We have a system for every damn thing.
Yeah.
It's like I don't. I helped create it with the team, but the team created it, and then we create SOPs. We create videos for whenever we're showing people. Okay, because we're always doing that, and we don't want to keep teaching it over and over again ourselves. But the videos work. And, from when I started doing this several years ago to now, my closing process is incredibly structured and detailed now. Hey, whatever one we're closing, I think next one is closing the sale. Yeah, Sarah. Okay. And that's going to get a little weird for you in a second because we're going to do a spread of that mortgage too, by the way.
Okay.
I finally talked to the lender. She changed her email and didn't tell me.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I know. So, but no, this is how it works, right? This is no. You've seen like we have the appraisal package. Went to the appraiser yesterday, like the night before, because it's today. I didn't even know it was today until last night, right? I just saw an email about. I'm like, that's all done. I didn't even ask. I assume.
Brandon sent me a package yesterday, and I said, he said, "Hey, this is your first deal, so then we'll talk." I said, okay, I'll call you after when I'm done with talk, so we can go over it. So like that, he tells me what he expectations, right? Same way he can teach my team as well, because I need to learn that first.
And so he'll walk you through how, there's an invoice from the one company to the buyer, because now there's less fees. Okay, and now they're the first owner. Because how we were doing it before, it was triggering another tax, another 6% tax, because they would invoice me and then the buyer. Well, once they invoice me, it's a sale to the second person now. And now we already paid 3% tax. Now there's 6% tax due. Okay. So we learned how to do it better. Okay. And so it's very structured in this sense. And that this is how it works. We always use mobile home title services. If a closing company didn't want to work with that, we're gone. Yeah. Because then it's actually going into the county, DMV, property appraiser, because you have an MCO and not a title yet. And then they're like, oh, we have to retire this before we close. No, we don't.
We have a CMO.
We have the MCO. Yeah. And we've only had one. Well, a lot of lenders want you to retire it before sale, but that cost me $300 to $400 per title, plus fees.
Wow.
Okay. And I won't do that. And if when they want that, it's because they want to sell the loan quick. And it might take 6 weeks, 8 weeks afterwards to do it. In fact, at the place we met, the person there said they would retire them and didn't, because there was a mess, right? I didn't agree to it. They said they were doing it. And they were like, hey, we need you to, well, I'm not doing any of that. Because then I would have to, it was in a Polk County sale, but my dealership's in Citrus County. So then I would have to drive back and forth between both counties and do stuff. I'm not doing that. Wow. But then they were like, you have to. I said, no, I didn't agree to that at all. Yeah. I said, okay, if you want to, go right ahead. And I remember just getting yelled at. I remember telling the guy, the realtor and the loan guy, where did I agree to do this? But they did. Do you realize that we are different people, different companies? I didn't agree to do any of that.
Yeah, he's not even answering your question.
So he's like, so you're not going to do it? Absolutely not. I did offer to do it, But I said, you got to give me my billable hour then.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, well, what's that? I said, at that point, it was like $4.50. It's a little more now, right? An hour. He's like, an hour? He's like, I don't get that. Okay, I'm better than you, I said. He hung up on me. Fantastic. But I didn't agree to do it. And I've done it one time and I billed them for it. I told him, another client, if you do it the way you're going to do, this is going to happen. He's like, yeah, I doubt that. Okay, here. But we were just selling him a unit. We didn't do anything else. I made him sign the paperwork because he hired me and then he fired me. Well, he wanted to work with unlicensed contractors, and we can't do that.
Oh, good luck with that. Yeah.
And because we have license, we can't do that. And he was very hard-headed. And so what happened was he got everything done. He couldn't sell it the first time because he used a unlicensed septic company on a unimproved vacant lot. And he told the buyer and their agent and everything else and the closing title company that, oh, that was there when I bought the lot. And it was like, dude, it was unimproved vacant land. That was his story. So, I guess the septic was under the trees because he cleared it. Got called out hard, right? So then he got a different realtor who then it just got sold in November of last year. He said, he called me one day. I need you to come down to the DMV or wherever it was and sign documents. I was in Fort Lauderdale. And I was like, yeah, just wait. I'll be right there. He's like, well, you didn't ask where. I said, exactly. I'll be right there. Hung up on him. Okay. Then I blocked him for a while because I was at an event. And then his realtor reached out to Jeannie, who got in touch with me, and she came to my home office afterwards. And they were gonna she brought the MCOs and we were gonna sign them. And I said, I just want you to read this. This is what I gave him. The moment we signed them over to him, 6% tax is owed, plus the county surtax. So now it's 7%. And it was like $100,000 units. Now you're talking $7,000. Okay. And she's like, who pays that? You? I said, absolutely not. He will pay it or the buyer. And she said, the buyer can't afford that. Then guess what? He will pay. And so what happened was, and they were using a company that has the name Smart Title in their name, and they are anything but. I'm just going to say that. Anything but Smart Title. And I told her that because she worked for their realty branch. Why don't you use us? I said, because they're anything but smart. And I explained to her why. Because they try to do it in-house, what they don't know how to do. And we had a disaster closing there. And I will never, ever, ever walk away. I will always walk away from them. And then, so when I explained to her and I gave her the list of everything I gave her client, and she was like, oh, do you suggest another title company? And the one I was working with, who we taught everything, I literally put them on an email, the realtor and the title agent, and they closed there. It took a few more weeks. It was a little messy because they had to change, whatever, but it got done correctly. She sent me a great card thanking me. And the guy turned around and bought another unit immediately. I'm going to follow what you say. I'm like, if you do that, I'll answer your text. Don't call me. Please don't leave me a voicemail. He's like, you don't listen? I don't listen to voicemails. Dude, you're 40 years old. I'm 54. I don't listen to voicemails. You send me a text because it may not be me you need to talk to, but I'll give it to somebody who will get you to the right person. And he just bought one. He had another lot. He bought 3 lots. He's doing one at a time. He's like, I'm going to buy this one next. I'm like, okay, cool. Not a problem. But the guardrails, right? Not a bad guy, just hard-headed, as most of us are.
Yeah.
So you know what? You had an issue, a worry about question number 6. So I'm going to ask you question number 6. I think this is the easiest one for you, right? So you've worked both behind the scenes and now as a business owner. What do you wish more real estate professionals understood about what actually happens on the title side of the transaction? You can disparage realtors.
For them to understand the title commitment. For them, the way I basically work when a title commitment comes in, for example, I laid out the issues, requirements that comes in, and I highlight them very clear for them to know, because most realtors don't read title commitments.
What's it like?
Or they don't know how to read.
Part 2B under the line, right?
The requirements, yes.
You better watch that part one right there, okay? Forget the top stuff.
Yeah. So, and I've been talking that I'm gonna include my boyfriend. He's a realtor. He doesn't know how to read it or he doesn't want to read it. So I laid out on the email, dude, like,
hey, this is what we need for a clean title.
we need it.
Yeah.
You know, so basically, I think that's it's communication, being behind the scenes, being now a title company owner. I think everything's just communication and how you lay out
Education.
things. Yes, how you laid out things, how you communicate with your clients, how you know, direct them or guide them.
Right.
You know, because and then and at the end of the day, oh, and also you expect them to help you getting those items.
Oh
Because
yeah.
they're, I mean, and some of them they won't. They will say, "Title company has to deal with it." You know, yeah, that's your client too. You have to help.
Because
Yeah.
they have to gather the documents sometimes to fix the problem.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I'm gonna give you an example today. I mean, we have now a new a contract. The title came in, and yesterday, so I reviewed it, and there's a quiet title that was basically that we need to satisfy. Now, yes, okay, this current owner purchased it with
Tax deed.
the tax deed from a previous owner, so they knew whoever title company was in the before, they knew it. So I'm telling my assistant to call the title company, request an owner's policy. Okay, she calls in the title company. There's no owner's policy. So I don't.
How did they do that then?
How did they close unless it was moved to exceptions? But still, I need to know. So they weren't giving us any information. So now I have to dig into like what happened, why is it, and I don't understand like when there's a transaction, it was a closed transaction, why the company did not issue an owner's policy.
That's
big.
Yeah. Now, I mean, a lot of stuff when they do it like that's like courthouse step stuff. We just sign something over, and like you would never do that. Okay. I mean, it's like when I bought homes. I bought a home, everyone with an inspection, and everything lot I buy or home, I close with a title company with all the rules. Okay. Because the ramifications are if you buy something that has liens and all this stuff, oh, it transfers to you now because you've accepted it.
Yeah.
And people are like, no, but it's them. It doesn't matter because it's on the house too. And now you own the house. And the government just wants their money. And now they have you also on the hook. And people don't the one thing, that is education in our business is everything. And there's a lot of people who realtors. I mean, I was just looking at one the other day. We made an offer on something, and she doesn't work weekends. I do not work 5 p.m. Friday to 9 a.m. Monday. Okay. I hope they tell their clients that because that's real estate time for realtors and buyers and sellers. Okay. And I don't, so we made an offer on it. I said, send it over at 5 o'clock on Friday. And Jen's like, like, but okay. So then she reviewed it, let's say on Monday, hopefully, when she responded? Thursday. Yesterday. You know what I did between Monday and Thursday? She didn't even acknowledge that she received it, the offer, or talk to her client. She just said in those first 3 days, but Thursday at 4 o'clock, she sent a text, or I don't know what she did to Jen. I already bought the lot across the street. I don't need your lot anymore.
Wow.
I already bought across the street. Yeah. Yep. Called them. Hey, been on the market. This is my offer. Not me. Okay.
Yeah.
And you got the contract. Orient.
Oh, that's the one. Okay. Okay.
That's going to be fun because the unit is supposedly still on the lot. It's not there anymore.
Yes. So another email from Brandon saying about the permits. Yes. Okay. Okay.
He's like, how do you know? I said, I am sitting in the lot right now. I sent him a picture. Because
a selfie.
I did. The house next door is the owner. If you look at it, where she lives is right next door. And they were at work, and I ran over a copperhead in the street too, a snake. Kids, they come out when it's cold, and they were sitting on the blacktop. And I'm sorry for snake fans, but I'm not a snake fan.
No.
And I had to get out of my truck, so the snake didn't get out of my truck's way, so he went under the wheel. Then I rolled over. I took a photo.
Did you?
Of course, the truck weighs 7,000 pounds. We might have stopped for a second, but I had to get out of my truck. It's a copperhead.
Yeah.
They're poisonous. If it was a black snake, I wouldn't have done it. But it was a copperhead. Oh yeah, done. right?
I'm scared of any snake. Oh,
All right, I'm
oh
not a
my
big fan
God.
of them,
Oh,
but
no.
you know, so got out of it. I walked around the lot because I was traveling helping yesterday, and so I went through Zephyr Hills for that one. We have the other one. I got offers out on a few more. Do you know it's the hottest area in Florida right now? You didn't know that, did you? Though?
No.
Okay, so we do my market absorption, which you learned about Saturday. Active pending sold, 6 months, 3 miles.
Yeah.
Manufactured mobile homes only, 300 sales. Sorry, 300 active pending solds. The majority of them are pending and sold. There's 112, I think, or 114 active. So that would be what, 180 something pending and sold.
Wow.
And there's only 15 active pending sold that are newer than 2010. That's my competition, really. The two best sales, which are dating back a year, are mine. It's the same house twice. I sold it to the buyer and his wife, who decided a month later to get divorced, and they just sold it again. But it's still my comp, right? I built it.
Yeah.
But that's what I look at. That's the hottest area. I'm trying to buy as much as I can over there.
Yeah.
So I had to go to Newport Richie, so I just drove through Zephyr Hills to get there.
Okay.
Because I got to escape. I had to go buy a water key because we have to turn off water, winterize homes. I had to buy blankets for wells, and I wrapped them up. I made videos of me saying, "You'll be nice and warm," right? And I had to go to two of our investors who, I mean, we do projects for them a couple times a year. So it looked really good if I send a video of me doing it for them. I did. You know, one of them, he has a really bad sense of humor. And I told him, "Don't worry, I'm giving you half of my billable hours." My phone was ringing. I'm like, "Dude, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You got to understand I joke all the time." Because he knows my billable hour. He's paid it before. So, okay. We're going to wrap up soon, but I want you to, for someone listening who's buying, selling, investing in real estate right now, what's one proactive step they can take today to avoid legal or title headaches later? I can give a ton of those.
So do a title search first before you go into a contract.
But that's your title company job, right?
That's the job. So if someone's trying to purchase or have an interest on a property before they want to go in the contract, and you just do a title search for me. Say okay.
Would you?
I mean, I will do it.
Well, I asked for one, yes. Well, my team did, because we're buying that lot if we can prove, or she has to get a variance.
I
Okay.
mean, we have no problem doing title searches. You know,
We don't ask for it a lot. I would suggest they should vet their own title company.
they should, yeah. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's not an issue with us doing a title search for you or for anyone who wants to. You know,
Okay.
I mean, because in the day, again, it's even though we're not a title company on the purchase, but I know someday they will come back to us because basically they will say, "Oh, you know what? They're
Well,
good."
but if they're buying a lot before they go into contract, they should run it, or just wait till they're under contract.
It depends. If they depending how they feel, if they feel it is if they have questions regarding the lot and they think that they
Or the home.
issues, yeah,
Right.
and let me do a search first before I sign that contract.
No, I see. I'm gonna, like, as an investor, or I would do it. I wouldn't do a thing till I get it under contract.
What?
Okay.
As my investors, for example, I have other ones. They will tell me, can you do a search for me, and then or they will go into a contract, and
That's what the due diligence is for.
and then they do a search, and then when that comes back, I'll send the search to them only. You know, and then I label everything out. So then he goes back and negotiate a sales
exactly. That's what,
you
so you have it under contract, and then you find the warts.
Right. That's for investors. But then now if we have a buyer, then it's a different story.
But he should still put it under contract first, because you know what? While you're doing work, someone else could buy it out from underneath you.
Right.
Because you don't have a contract.
But that's not my job to tell them.
Right.
It's a realtor.
Well, I'm telling them now, this is how you do it. I know you can do it that way, but you know, so you always want to do it while you have control of it.
Right.
That's what I usually get 7 to 10 days of due diligence. I always try for 10, and we can get everything done in 10 days. You know, and I did ask, or Lara asked for a title search of the Orange County thing, because we have to find out if either we need a variance, or is it a lot of record. And then it was like title change since 1959. I think it was 59. $57. Oh my God. And that it wasn't part of a parcel next to it.
But I requested that to like 37. So
It's Orange County though. It's like, but I mean, we could probably get a variance because we're talking as a direct to sale thing, and they would get the variance while we're like, then we'll go under contract depending on which way it goes. Right.
And I have good underwriters too. Like they gave me searches back in 24 hours. So you'll get it today.
Not me. Somebody else will.
If that's tonight, tomorrow morning you're gonna see it in your inbox. Because that's me. I mean, I'm always working. I'm always on.
No, we're
on
stopping that.
I know.
I'm working tomorrow morning for 45 minutes. Okay, because we have another platform, and I want the resident expert now to show me some things. And the only time I don't have any time next week to Scott it in. So she's going to come in tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. We're going to go 8 a.m. to 8:45 on a Google Meet.
But you know why I work sometimes maybe after hours? Because during the day the phone rings.
Shouldn't be answering the phone.
I don't, but they want to speak to me, and again, I have to speak to them because again, it is my job.
Oh man! So
I want them to feel comfortable. I want them to feel that they're good, that they're good taken care of. You know what I mean? They're
and you can set a call time for later, because what happens is you're probably doing something, and now you're pulled out of where your flow at. Okay.
And then sometimes I'm sorry to cut you off, but sometimes they have questions on title. Olivia, what if this goes wrong? What if this goes right? What if right? So and if
Not in writing.
I tell them over the phone, okay, I'll repeat this in the email.
Okay.
I'll tell them.
Okay, good.
But
Okay.
if it's clients, like
it's got to be in writing.
I'll tell them in writing. I'll copy their agent based on the conversation that we had today. This is basically a little,
As long as it's in writing.
That yes.
I'm gonna you can always cut me off. It's fine, right? So but not everybody who has access to you deserves it. You have to remember that. You have to.
I know, but remember what I said before. I love what I do. I love my job.
But you have other clients to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm on the phone during the day. Yes, now it's
I love how you're arguing with me. We're going to change all this. Let me tell you, in a year, you're going to be like, But see, my wife will never say I'm right. I hope you're not the same.
Yeah.
But you run a business, okay? And to grow, you are the business right now. Your time is the commodity. And if you're doing something, like I have focus time, I block calendar. During the day, I don't know if you ever noticed, like my phone is always off. It's always on do not disturb during the day and at night. And the reason being is because I always thought ADD was a superpower, and it is, if it's used correctly. And someone had showed me, you had to write this sentence. He told me to write, the blue pen writes well. That's what it was. And then he told me to write 15 lines underneath it, and then skip 5 and write 1. So we timed how long it took me to write the blue pen writes well 15 times, one letter at a time, though. T. This is stupid, right? So then we took it, the time divided by 15, whatever that number was, and then what it took me to write one line out. It was 1/8 of what the other number was. Unfocused, focused. So by blocking my time and focusing on one task during a certain period, it just clicked away. And then nobody is pulling me out of that flow.
Okay.
And so I time block. And then, like I said, not everybody who has access to you deserves it. And there'll be a person soon for you, trust me, this year coming, who is going to answer the call. They're your gatekeeper.
But you know what?
Here comes she going to argue with me. I love a Latino who argues with me.
When they call me and they talk to me directly, say, you know what, I love the way I love that you pick up the phone and you talk to me directly, because other companies that I deal with and I dealt with, they don't talk to me.
Okay, but you can always call them back at an appropriate time.
Yeah.
And if you have 100 people doing that a day, tell me how much work you're really going to get done. See, that's the Latino who doesn't want to answer me.
Well, that's why after 5 p.m. when the phone does not ring, then I'm in the computer.
Yeah, but they'll still call after 5 because you'll answer the phone.
If it's important.
How do you know it's important until you answer?
If it's important, because I know.
Okay,
I know.
okay,
I know
okay,
my
okay,
files.
okay. A
I
Latina
know
who reads minds
every
now.
single file. I know. If you ask my sister, she'll tell you.
Okay.
Olivia knows every single file.
You're supposed to, right? But you
So,
know what?
yeah.
It doesn't mean you're supposed to be answering the phone every
So
time.
now, and then that's
We're going to work on that. Promise me we'll work on that a little bit. You can say I'm wrong in the end. I don't mind. But give it a shot one day.
I'll give it a shot.
Okay. And if you don't become more productive, focused.
Okay, so if I give it a shot and then my realtor comes back and says, why don't you answer the phone? I say, oh, because Tom told me not to answer the phone.
I want you to say that. They're a bad realtor. Okay? They're a bad realtor.
If she or he's
Tell her, hey, I was working on your
business.
file, and I was working on your file. I wanted to make sure it was perfect before I talked. Ooh, good answer, good answer. Maury, right? So I thank you for coming today. I look forward to all we're going to be able to do together. Okay? Hey, everybody. Olivia Ramos, thank you for watching the In Layman Terms podcast. See you next time.